So let me ask you something before we even start. Have you ever looked at a crypto chart and thought to yourself that this might be the perfect buying opportunity, but at the same time you're wondering whether you're catching a falling knife? And then you start questioning your own conviction, even though deep down you believe in the project? Have you ever imagined what you would actually do if one of your holdings suddenly went up 5 times, 7 times, or even more, and you're sitting there confused, unsure whether to take profits or hold longer because your original target still feels far away? Because that exact mindset is what separates people who make real money in crypto from people who sell too early or panic at the wrong time. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. I truly hope every single one of you is doing fantastic, because today we're talking about one project that, if you've been on this channel for a while, you already know I have extremely strong feelings about, and that project is Zebec Network. Now, I'm going to be very transparent with you, just like always. I am extremely bullish on Zebec, and I personally hold a significant amount of Zebec as a percentage of my overall portfolio, to the point where I can confidently say that this is my highest conviction crypto holding right now, and the one I am most comfortable holding through volatility. Am I saying this is going to turn me into a multi-billionaire overnight? Obviously not. Relax. That part is a joke. But what I am saying seriously is that I believe Zebec is going to make massive waves in this space. And I've been consistently saying this for months now without changing my stance, just because price moves up or down. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I discovered Zebec on day one, because everyone already knows that's not true. But ever since I did discover Zebec, I've been genuinely grateful, not just because of the potential of the project itself, but because of the community that surrounds it and the consistency with which this project continues to deliver. I discovered Zebec somewhere around mid-May, and I remember that period very clearly because I called out the buys, I also called out the sells, and from that point onward, the rest has really just been history, because ever since then, we have been talking about Zebec consistently, literally every single day for a little over 6 months now, and I honestly wouldn't want it any other way. What really stands out to me is how Zebec moves fundamentally, the way the team operates, the way the community supports the project, and the fact that Zebec is constantly putting out news and updates, which in crypto is honestly refreshing, because so many projects announce one idea and then drag it out for 4 or 5 months before delivering anything. Zebec doesn't do that. Zebec announces something, delivers it, and then moves straight on to the next thing, and sometimes even multiple things within the same week, which is honestly crazy when you compare it to most other crypto projects out there. Now let's talk about what's actually happening with price right now. And I'm going to explain this in a way that makes sense, even if you're not staring at charts all day. On the daily time frame, we just closed at the lowest level we've seen since around January 2nd, meaning this recent close is lower than the lows from January 12th and January 20th, and that's something we have to acknowledge. Over the last 2 days, price has clearly been fighting for its life, with a lot of rejection, relatively weak buying pressure, and smaller candles overall. But that doesn't automatically mean everything is over, because this is still part of a larger range that we've been respecting for some time now. We do currently have what looks like a triple bottom, and if you've been in crypto long enough, you already know that support levels don't get stronger the more they're tested. They actually get weaker, which is why it's important to watch how price reacts from here instead of blindly assuming it will bounce every single time. When I zoom into lower time frames and look at the structure, what I see is a series of lower highs forming, which tells us momentum is fading, and what we really want to see is price starting to close higher step by step, not just on the hourly time frame, but also on the 4-hour time frame. Because right now we are consistently closing lower, and if the current candle closes the way it looks, that trend continues. Now, is this ideal? No, it's not ideal. But here's where perspective matters, because this situation is actually very attractive for people who are still building positions and who have a longer-term mindset. Everyone has a different strategy. Some people already went all in and they're done. Some people wait for specific price levels. Some people only buy dips. Some people dollar cost average every single week on the same day, no matter what price is doing, whether it's $50, $100, or $1,000, based purely on what they can afford. If price struggles to hold this current range and moves down to the next support zone, we're looking at roughly a 12.5% discount from here, and that matters more than people realize, because if you were planning to invest the same amount of money anyway, that extra 12% means more Zebec tokens for the exact same capital. But here's the part most people don't talk about honestly. Buying is the easy part of this game. The real difficulty comes later, when everything is green, when price starts moving fast, and when sentiment shifts from doubt to belief almost overnight. Let's say Zebec goes up 7 times from here. If someone bought around 0.007, a 10 times move would put price near 2.7 cents. So a 7 times move puts us roughly around the 1.8 to 2 cent area, and that's where things start getting psychologically difficult. Because now you're sitting there up 7 times, looking at your portfolio and asking yourself whether you should take profits now or hold longer, because your original target might still be 10 cents, 5 cents, or even higher. If you have extremely strong conviction in where this project can go, that decision is where most people fail, because holding through green candles is often harder than holding through red ones. And that's something you only really understand once you experience it. From a technical standpoint, we have flipped bearish in real time, with strong rejection, engulfing candles, and increasing selling pressure. And if this candle closes the way it currently looks, there's a high chance we break out of this range and revisit lower levels around 0.0236. Looking at indicators, the daily trend hasn't fully flipped yet, but it's very close, which makes sense because we're sitting at a major support zone. And if we lose it, we stay bearish until we see a clear reaction and confirmation that buyers are stepping back in. On the 4-hour time frame, the moving averages are converging, and if selling continues, that will flip bearish as well. But it's important to remember that just because we flip bearish doesn't mean we stay bearish forever, because markets are constantly flipping, sometimes for days, sometimes for weeks. Massive pumps don't happen every single week, and those huge percentage moves usually take months or even years to fully play out, which is why patience and conviction matter so much in this space. From an RSI perspective, the daily RSI is below neutral and closer to oversold, which already represents a discount, and the weekly RSI is showing a similar picture, meaning there may be more downside. But there is also opportunity for those who are patient. That's where we're at right now, and that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Disclaimer, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video should be considered financial advice. Always do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose.